Alrighty, so before we step onto the Cosmos, we're gonna take a quick peek at like some of the level 100 stuff. Kind of go over like some characters that are really good to use for it, really good to have for it. Um, because the point of the Abyss is to have diverse comms, and while it, they're trying to be a little sneaky with it. They're trying to get you to use the characters that are on the banner because they're asking for a lot of white crystal users, they're asking for a lot of throw users, they're asking for a lot of yellow crystal users, and dark crystal users. Which is, would you look at that? That's Squall, Lael, and Yuri. They all fit that bill. They're trying to be a little sneaky with that. They're trying to make it so you can use these characters to get through this. They want you to pull on the banner. That's kind of the point. But it's not something that you necessarily need to do. So we're not going to do a rundown on we're not going to do like a gameplay visual. There's no point. We don't need to see that. But we're just going to talk about characters that can be used per specific weapon type, per character type, per crystal type, things like that. So for example, we're going to go over here. So, this is the team that I use. We're just going to click yes. Alright. So, you need 2 black crystal users and a sword type user. You're going to be seeing this through pretty much all of the Abyss, especially on these level 100 stages. And by doing this, I also would like to point out that if you go back to redo your clears, you could still move on. Like, I could still go back to the 4th stage, even though I technically now have to redo that to get the perfect, which I technically don't because it's already cleared. So we're going to go back, and we're just going to go ahead and click yes on all of them. We're just going to reset it on all of them. Alright, so over here, we need black crystal characters and sword type users. Over here, we need a yellow crystal character and 2 sword type users. Over here, we need 2 yellow crystal characters and a throw user. And then over here, we need a white crystal character and 2 great sword users. So you see what I mean? So you can see that it's asking you to change things up and be diverse, especially since each of these stages will lock your characters upon perfection. These stages, though, you have to clear without any KOs, white crystal characters, and 2 sword type users. You have to clear those upon the run in order to perfect it so you can actually move on. So you have to keep that in mind, and you have to have the characters properly built. So we're going to go into the characters that I feel will help get this done. So for sword type users, we're going to click for swords. Alright, so for sword type users, really good sword type users are going to be Bartz. Bartz fulfills a lot of the yellow crystal conditions, as well as the sword crystals conditions, so you're killing 2 birds with 1 stone. He still has his uses. While Bartz does have a slow start, which is fine because you're getting them started up in the trash waves, Bartz is still a great choice for the double hand. It hits relatively hard, has good overflow. The missile drops the defense while raising the brave for the party. EI Nuki goes off literally every 2 seconds, so that's good to use. Lightning, everyone knows how I feel about Lightning, but unfortunately, yes, I have to talk about her because she's a yellow crystal sword user, so she does fulfill the conditions, yada yada yada, so on and so forth. Yeah. Lightning can do it for you. I'm not gonna. Let's move on. Ramza would actually be another good choice. He is another yellow crystal character and another sword type user. Ramza, the unfortunateness of Ramza right now is that Ramza, sadly enough, is just too slow. He's very slow, especially since his shout and galvanize don't do HP damage. They don't do HP damage, and his only form of an actual attack is his Enervate and his HP attack plus. And the Enervate is the only forms of Brave Shaving. For these level 100 stages, though, I don't think it should be a problem. You're going to have to anticipate for slower runs when you're doing the Cosmos stages with Ramza if you need the yellow crystal or sword type user. Other sword type users that aren't yellow crystals that are great to use for this: Vaughn, he'd be a great choice. I don't have his EX, so I'm not really fooling with him because he just doesn't have enough. Vaughn would be a good choice. Yuri fulfills the white crystal and sword type. Yuri actually is not that bad of a choice, guys. I want you to hear me out on this. Right? While yes, you have to have Chilinka's prayer active so he's not getting the downside of his the downside of his abilities to activate. So you have to immediately start with Rayless Crystal. He has pretty good overflow on his crystal power, which in turn turns into some great AoE attacks. And Rayless Crystal hits relatively hard, and he has a decent max brace stat. So while he's not groundbreaking yet, because Yuri becomes a god in Chaos, he becomes a god in Chaos. Right now, Yuri's nothing special. He's nothing great, but he can get the job done. Let's see. Firion is another great choice. Firion is another great choice for sword type users because I will say this, he's built for like early Cosmos. I've praised Firion a lot. You know how often I praise Firion because of how often I use him. Firion is a great choice. Wall has the Ramza effect right now. Honestly, he's just a tad too slow, and he doesn't have a lot of max brave. He's not doing a lot of damage, and even on these level 100 stages, you need to have at least your attacks hitting for over like 15k in order to actually get these attacks to kill. He's a good character to have for white crystal clears and sword clears to kill two birds with one stone, but don't be expecting you're really gonna have to fight and bring some characters alongside of him to get that perfect. Agrius would be another great choice, even though she's a great green crystal user. Agrius is fantastic. Yeah, that does it for sword characters. We're gonna move on to great swords. Obviously, Zac, he's a fantastic choice. You're going to be seeing great swords pop up a lot, as well as dark crystal users pop up a lot because of the Squall requirement. Even Squall, he's great to use too, obviously. He's built for this right now, so Squall would actually be pretty good to use, especially in the Cosmos since there are a lot of dual bosses. Again, they kind of specifically did that, so you use Squall here. But anyway, back to Zac. Zac is absolutely perfect for this. There's nothing really much to be said about it because Zac is just fantastic. Almost every character besides Gilgamesh and Steiner that you see here on my list can be used. Paladin Cecil fulfills the white crystal requirement, as well as the great sword requirement. He's a fantastic character, does great damage. Cloud doesn't fulfill any crystal requirements, but he fulfills the great sword requirement. Sephiroth doesn't fulfill any crystal, but he fulfills the great sword. He's fantastic, single target DPS. Beatrix still has her uses even in the Cosmos era. You kind of need to fool around with her just a little bit, especially since her Saint's Cloth only has 4 uses. She needs to have buffs on in order to actually do what she's doing. Don't pair her with Vayne, because Vayne will literally kick away all those buffs and will weaken her tremendously. So you'd have to keep applying Saint's Cloth. But she still has her uses. She could still be used. Jack is fantastic. The man just does damage. That's the point. Even Ashe still has some of her uses. Even before her rework. Her rework is actually coming out this Sunday alongside of her EX weapon. So we'll talk more about Ashe when we get there. But Ashe could still be used. Even now. Right now, you could still use Ashe. And after she gets her rework, she'll crush almost all of this. Because of how good her rework is. So for great sword characters, everything that you see here on my screen, besides Gilgamesh and Steiner, can practically be used. Even, and of course, Vayne. You can use Vayne. Everyone knows you can use Vayne. So everyone that you see here can be used. We're going to move on to throw characters, because this is the last of the weapon requirements. Now, you can see there's not a lot of them. Pretty much, you can use just about everyone that is here, because everyone has their uses here. Even Fujin and Hope, they still have their uses here. Hope if you have him built, will clear the white crystal requirement as well as the throw requirement. Fuji won't clear any crystal requirements, but she clears the throw requirement if you need her. But my main 3 picks are going to be Shadow, or not 3, 4. Shadow, even though I don't have him built, he's fairly good. Shadow has a fairly good level 60 awakening, and he can help you get through these level 100 stages fairly easy. Let's get that off of there. Setzer, though. Setzer's fantastic. Setzer is great. His freeze joker helps out a lot. His red card helps out a lot. I've even seen him on some Cosmos clears. So Setzer is good. He fulfills the dark and the throw requirement. Yuffie is not clearing any crystal requirements, but she is clearing the throw requirement, and she's still pretty fantastic. I took her on my first initial run of the Cosmos clear, and the 3-9 Cosmos clear, by the way. And while I didn't get the score requirement, I still got through it fairly well. And I even went back and reran it with Yuffie and fulfilled the score requirement. So as long as you use her properly, Yuffie could get the job done. But obviously, the main man they want you to use, especially if you have his EX, is going to be Lale. There's going to be a lot of yellow crystal requirements, and there's going to be a lot of throw requirements. So Lale is going to be one of your go-tos. Lale is going to be one of your top picks for, clearing the yellow crystal and the throw requirements, even just the throw requirements. Just got to be careful because he will get locked. Outside of that, there isn't really anything else. Because pretty much just going over all the weapon types, we've already gone over all the characters that are great to fulfill the crystal requirements. So that's pretty much that. So as long you have to plan accordingly, you have to plan who you want to bring to a certain stage and who you don't, and who you want to save for a different stage. So make sure when you're clicking into these level 100s, you check the enemies. Like this one here specifically is all for ghosts. Well, actually, you know what? This is actually good because we missed a few characters that we can actually talk about. So we're going to go back, select all. All right. So other characters that can be used to fulfill certain requirements. Kain is great. Kain is great for fulfilling the Dark Crystal requirement. He's still fairly good. I have to actually finish building him. I have his EX, and I'm just missing his 35. I can grab that at any point. But Kain is really good. He's very high DPS. Single target DPS, and his launch in his EX. It's fairly good. Fairly good. Lena. Obviously Lena. Great for the white crystal requirement. Scooting it down, scooting down, scooting down. Kain Sith doesn't fulfill any requirements, but I'm just going to say this. If you need some help, just once you fulfill the requirements on the Cosmos, because you don't have to perfect that. A lot of these Cosmos are dual targets. Kain Sith will help you out with the Cosmos. I'll tell you that right now. Let's see. Aiko is great, especially for the one that I just clicked on, where it's all the ghosts. They're weak to holy. Aiko is great. Her smite will do a lot of damage, and she has great buffs, great long-lasting buffs too. Let's see. Lulu was a great yellow crystal character, though she's not going to fulfill any weapon types, so just keep that in mind when you pick her. She will fulfill the yellow crystal requirement to get that job done. She's very powerful. Even without her EX, she's still extraordinarily powerful, so make sure you use her, is basically what I'm saying. Lilith is another great yellow crystal character. You're going to be seeing yellow crystal pretty much more than just about any of them, honestly. But she's a great yellow crystal character. Great buffs, great debuffs, and good speed, and fantastic battery. Everyone knows Lilith. Yistola would be a good yellow crystal character, especially with her EX. She's great battery, great setbacks, and stuff like that. And then last but not least, King would be a good choice for some DPS for a Dark Crystal. Honest to God, you could probably get through them. I know I'm kind of just clicking on characters that I have, so we're going to scroll down. Onion Knight would be a great sword user. He's very powerful, especially after his rework. Even though his EX is kind of meh. His abilities are really what shines. Blizzard combo and multi-hit are fantastic. Let's see. Tifa's a fantastic yellow crystal character. I definitely recommend bringing her because she's still super powerful, even though her EX came out a while ago alongside Barret. Unfortunately, Renault is not clearing anything. So unless you actually need the DPS for like the Cosmos stage, I wouldn't suggest bringing her. This dude, this little man, VV, he's a monster. Great for the Dark Crystal requirement. He has such high max brave and he does so much damage. He's great for Dark Crystal clears. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Deuce is alright. Deuce has lost a lot of her luster fairly fast, but she can fulfill that white crystal requirement to get the job done. She still does good enough damage. She still has a good enough effect with her concerto, and a good bravery with that. So you can get some uses out of Deuce. I would not suggest bringing her for the Cosmos stage, especially since her note goes away when broken. Let's see. Thancred still can get the job done. Thancred's still incredibly beastly, even though his rework was one of the early reworks alongside of Bart's. He's still beastly. He still has a lot of damage, good high max brave, and a very huge overflow on his EX ability. Excuse me. So I would 100% definitely recommend bringing along Thancred for the white crystal clear. He's not clearing any of the weapon requirements, so just keep that in mind. Let's see. Let's go and keep it going. Kefka would be great for dark crystal requirements. The HP blind and the debuffs are fantastic. Quistis is good for the yellow crystal. You just have to make sure you're using her properly because she has low skill uses on the generator whip. So just make sure you have that. She's still great for Cosmos too. So make sure you keep that in mind. You can bring her along for Cosmos. Orin would be a good choice. His melee and parallel and everything, he hits okay right now. He's in due for some extra love. Only because he was his EX came fairly early, so he's a little down there. So he's kind of he's power crept like all hell, but he can get the job done, especially on the level 100 players. I don't recommend him for Cosmos, only because he's just not doing enough damage there. But for the level 100 stuff, Orin would be your boy. Orin can get the job done. Sarah is one of the gods of the game right now. Though her max brave is very low, it is laughably low. You need characters that can raise the max brave, especially if you plan on building around Sarah, because her max brave is just laughably low. I brought along a maxed out, fully artifacted Sarah for one of my level 100 clears alongside Cloud and Paladin Cecil. Her max brave was sitting at 13k after all of her buffs were applied. You need auras, you need max brave buffs if you're going to build around Sarah. But Sarah is still fantastic. She offers great battery, great buffs, and great debuffs to the enemy team. Sarah is one of the gods of the game right now, so don't skip out on her. And that kind of just about... Oh, wow! Lon and Rain are amazing for these level 100 clears. They make work out of the trash mobs, and they're great for the white character crystal requirements. The only unfortunate thing is that they don't have a brave attack and HP attack plus, but so you kind of have to keep spamming abilities. But as long as you're ability happy and you swap out them for support and bring them back in, they can even still kill Cosmos. I'll tell you that. These two are absolutely fantastic. So if you have them built up, they will be great choices for this. But yeah, that will pretty much do it. A few honorable mentions. I'm pretty much just kind of like one or two. Noctis. This boy needs his rework. It's coming out next month. But even Noctis right now can fulfill the level 100 requirements. He fulfills sword and dark crystal users. So use him at your leisure. He's not ready for Cosmos, at least not yet. But he can help out with the level 100 stages. Let's see. Who else was my honorable mention? Sabin. Now, he's not fulfilling any weapon requirements. Sabin does have great AoE damage with his Razor Gale, and he fulfills the Dark Crystal requirements. So while he's not anything to really, work towards, focus on, he's still a good character to have, and he still gets the job done for the level 100 stuff. So that'll just about do it, guys. Make sure... Don't forget, too, you could bring a support friend along. So even if you don't have, the best team, as long as you use the support at the right time, you'll get through it pretty well. And the support, they don't help towards the missions, but they'll help you just get it done. But that'll do it, guys. So those are all the characters that can help you out with the level 100 stage. There are lots of characters, and if you are veterans of this game, you should have plenty of characters built. If you're beginners, this might not be for you, at least not for a while, but don't fret, because this is permanent. While the mission rewards, unfortunately, aren't permanent, this will still be here so you can farm the gems and stuff like that later down the road. So, veteran players, you should have the teams. Beginner players, build up for a little while, get ready, prepare for this. Grab characters, especially since this is going to be permanent. Characters that are coming out in the future for level 70s, you can grab and bring back and just kind of like slap this. But for now, these are the characters that will help you get the job done, kill 2 birds with 1 stone, and help you just clear out the mission requirements. So, thank you guys for watching. I hope this was helpful by any means. I know it's kind of a long video, but I kind of wanted to put my 2 cents out there to try and help out, because I know a lot of people are kind of struggling with this, while some people aren't. But I wanted to put my 2 cents in to try and help out the community as best as I can. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one.